So now the story is Donald Trump is going to lose, and what everybody's worried about is what happens if he refuses to concede, right? Riots on the streets, protests, right? Donald Trump's going to lose, right? No, actually, what we're looking at is the final and end days of the left when it has failed completely and has now no leadership left and no ideologies left that it can defend honestly. So I mean, let's assume, for example, let's assume that Trump is everything that the left says he is. Let's say that he's a racist, a misogynist, a hate monger, an Islamophobe, a white supremacist, a Nazi, a fascist, and an agent of Russia. Let's assume that all of that is true. Then, in a year when America is facing the re-election of a man like this, the left has no one up to the challenge, right? Their hope is a senile old man whose record over the last 50 years could not stand scrutiny from any side because mores have changed. The left doesn't even know what it stands for anymore, right? Like the thing about you notice that Joe Biden, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they have absolutely nothing to say about what happened to the working class of America. The left is supposed to represent the working class. That's its roots, right? But no, that's the one thing that none of them in the left is able to talk about today is the working class and what happened to the working class and what the working class wants. Right? They're on a trip of very selective outrage about a very few selective things. And those few selective things and that selective outrage is supposed to complete the tent of the left and its moral righteousness. But it doesn't. AOC, one of the heroines of one of the heroes, to be gender correct, one of the heroes of the left has nothing substantial to say except whine about victimhood and talk nonsense about ending air travel and garbage, nonsense. Ilhan Omar has nothing to say about freedom in the Muslim world. She has nothing to say about democracy in Africa. She has nothing to say about the American working class. She has nothing to say about China and what China represents as a threat to freedom and democracy. But she has, America is a horrible place and the system needs to be broken down for justice. That's what she has to say. Same with Bernie Sanders. I mean, that's the alternative to Joe Biden is Bernie Sanders, a broken down communist who has made every compromise with the system so that he'd get a chance. And in the end, now, all he's left is praising Cuba for whatever it's supposedly achieved well and having not a thing to say about China that matters. That's the left. Right? Nancy Pelosi looks like look at the way she slurs when she's speaking. There's a time to exit gracefully. But now all she looks like is she's hanging on while Ilhan Omar and AOC's plot and act to get her out of the chair. And Chuck Schumer, what's his role in all this? I don't get it. What is Chuck Schumer up to? To me, he looks just like Nancy Pelosi's puppy in the Senate doing what he's expected to do. The left cannot come up with quality ideas and quality leadership in the time of the supposedly awful Donald Trump. What does that tell you? They want to destroy the Electoral College. They want to destroy freedom of speech. They want to destroy the right to own guns. They want to defund the police. They want to break down the American state and its constitution and the will of the American people in order to carry on the corrupt Marxist racket that the left has become. The honest truth is that the last great liberal was John F. Kennedy. And Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Ilhan Omar, these are all people who have adopted the politics of victimhood in order to profit from the system. If they were really concerned about the weak and the oppressed, then they would be asking, the politics of the left started with things like the condition of the coal miners. So does AOC care about the condition of the coal miners now? No. The steel workers? No. You're supposed to care about climate change. But what they won't tell you is that the climate change bullshit that they got us into, well, they figured out, CO2 emissions have to be reduced. Let's do diesel. Right? So countries like India and China and all these countries, they want to meet their targets because, you're good global citizens if you meet your climate change targets. Well, let's implement diesel. And diesel pollutes. And now, because of diesel pollution, millions of people are dying prematurely every year in the third world, which includes India, China, Africa, Iran. Millions of people are dying every year because of diesel pollution that was brought about because of elitists. How do I put it? Elite liberal climate change activists who use the power of the West to bully poor countries into environmental policies that led to absolute devastation so that they could pretend that they were being moral. These are the climate change activists like AOC. They're full of crap. They don't care about people who've died because of air pollution in the millions that came about because of policies designed to combat climate change. Well, now all these German companies that put the German car companies that put diesel as their as a thing that was going to make them the masters of the global economy, automobile economy, they force this diesel shit on everyone with their obsession with climate change. Anybody going to take responsibility for that? No. So, let's cut the crap with the climate change and let's not fly aeroplanes and, let's grow vegetables from the tropics in New York City because that's, natively correct for the people who now live in New York City. Cut the crap. The left is full of shit. They have no integrity left. They have no honesty left. They have no people left who can stand up and say that we are for the people of America who are oppressed by China. Right? And look at this Oprah Winfrey woman. She says that, being white is a privilege. Well, a woman being born an American citizen is a privilege. Millions in the world go through hell to become American citizens. Americans haven't started learning the stories of immigration. You think all those people who walk across the borders trying to get to America that get stopped at the fences, the people that you're so concerned about, the one thing they lack is the privilege of American birth, American citizenship, and that is what they want. You have it. And instead of saying, hey, everybody, you who have the privilege of American citizenship, let us be worthy of it, because there are all these billions who want it and can't get it or go through hell to get it. The world is full of old, ancient, dying people who have no hospitals, no healthcare, no old people's homes, nobody, and they're living and they're dying alone in the time of coronavirus because they sent their kids away to America and don't come back here. And if we're going to die here, at least you got a good life. The world is full of aging people dying alone because their one thing was to send their kids off to America. And if you're settled there, don't worry about us. Look after yourself. The sacrifices that the world makes to get American citizenship are incredible. And Oprah Winfrey says whiteness is a privilege. Woman, Miss Winfrey, having American citizenship, being born in America is a privilege. It would be so wonderful if you had something to tell the people who are oppressed in America of what they can do with what they have, what the world dies for. The left is out of ideas. This is the end. After this, who are you going to sell LGBT politics to? Who's going to buy it? Who are you going to sell Islamophobia politics to? Who's going to buy it? AOC, Ilhan Omar, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, this is the end of the left. The end. Because they are out of people and they're out of ideas and they're out of honesty. You have broken down old buggers who never got their dream, and you have youngsters who want to take over the dream, but it's the same wretched, corrupt dream that the elders dreamt of control through the politics of self-righteousness. And the game's over. The left started to die with John F. Kennedy, with his passing, and now it is dead. And all that we're seeing, the shit that we're seeing, this is all the dying convulsions of the left as it tries to burn down the world with it. Simple as that. They will tear down America if they have to, because if they don't have themselves and their ways, then they have nothing. They're not invested in anything, and they might as well. If they're not going to have it, they're not going to let you have it either. So they're going to try and burn it, which is what they're doing. By encouraging violence in the streets. That's what they're doing. So, simply, I don't see who voted for Trump in 2016 today says, well, no, fuck Trump. I'm going to vote for Biden. I don't see a single person saying, I'm sorry I voted for Trump. I'm now going to vote for Biden. There's no one. And there are lots of people who are going to be like, what the fuck is this shit? We want our police. They're going to vote for Trump. So all this shit that's going on, this is all catastrophe being created by the left in its dying throes. The Hydra is dying. The Gorgon is dying. And it will cause a lot of damage on its way out. And we're going to have to deal with that. Simple as that. Thank you.